We have Gabrielle joining in the same location.
Oh,
Hey,
Hey, oh,
hello, hello. How are
I'm
you?
trying. Baby, turn that on. Sorry, we got you on two different screens right
Oh,
now.
okay. So it's a lag.
It's a little
Technical
lag.
difficulties as we figure this out.
Yes. Okay,
So
I'm here.
how's it
Hey,
going?
it's good. It's really good. We had a long day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I'm on the verge of a nap, but I was
Look,
like, we're gonna be here.
I took a nap before I got on this show so that I could have the energy to do this. Smart.
We were like you. Yes, we've been in the truck all day from farm to farm.
Yeah.
But that
Wow.
that always, yeah, gives you a little bit of energy, and then
Hmm.
when you get still, you crash. So
Yep.
it's all good.
Hmm. Your hair is amazing.
Thank you. So is yours.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I don't think I've ever actually met you in person. I just like
Mm-mm.
follow you on Instagram. But yeah, so it's nice to have a conversation. So where are you from?
Yes. I'm from Apex, North Carolina, so right up the street.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, I grew up going to church in Durham. That was my only real reference point to
Hmm.
Durham. And now that I've made it back home, I was away for a while. I just moved home 2 years ago. Thank you, Miss Jenny. Um, but yeah, I came home. I was living in New York for 7 years. Before that, I was in San Francisco. And coming home was really like, I mean, you can only imagine now. I'm like looking at my friends in their apartments in Brooklyn and
Oh,
Harlem, and
yeah.
I'm just like, God, thank you for this move because I need nature to
Hmm.
be okay. Um, but yeah, I'm from Apex. I think that was the question you
Yeah.
actually asked
No,
me.
I mean that's yeah, I used to live in DC. Obviously I went to Howard, but this like being here in North Carolina is just like it really is a blessing. I mean, I'm a Southern girl. I grew up in Texas. That's where I got the
Mm-mm.
name What It Do for the show
Okay. Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
how we
What is
greet
it?
each other.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, what it do. But so yeah, I'm used to like being outside and like my grandfather or my grandparents had they had a hog farm in the backyard. And,
Wow.
yeah, and he would slaughter the hogs and like do the sausage and all that stuff. And
Yes.
he had fig trees back there and okra and eggplant and squash and bell peppers and garlic and just everything. And he
Abundance.
had a snapping turtle
Okay.
that he would keep in a trash can. And then
Oh,
and then he'd be like, "You want to see the snapping turtle?" Yes. But
I love your granddaddy.
yep,
I
my
love them.
papa.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I love that. I look forward to that. The backyard gardens, the okra, the figs, those things that our grandparents had and we definitely took for granted. Didn't realize how like rare and beautiful that stuff was. But I know moving to DC helped you put a lot of that into perspective, I'm
Man,
sure.
it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a total culture shock because I mean, I think like I I grew up in Dallas, so I was used to big cities, but it was still very country. Like you could still
Okay.
see a black dude riding a horse down the street
Oh,
in Texas.
yeah. Yeah.
Then you move to DC and it's like we don't trust the police, we don't talk to each other, we don't make eye contact. And then there's like just black people from all over the world in one place. I mean, it was
Yeah.
yeah. It was interesting. I loved it, but it was a culture shock.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Well, I can relate,
Yeah,
actually.
you can relate. You experienced it.
Yeah.
So, what are you working on creatively right now?
So a few different things, and it's really interesting how those things have morphed now that we have all of this time on our hands. But I guess outside of tall grass food box, uh, really my preservation work is still at the forefront, which um last year I did a dinner that it was a communion. It was in our garden, and we had some friends come out and eat with us. I think it was 26 of them.
Oh my gosh, that's
Um,
amazing.
yes, and it was this multi-course experience that was very much influenced by the stories of my elders, my grandfather, my uncle. Um, and so that was really special because it gave me kind of language for the work that I'm doing and the way that I can share the stuff that I'm learning. Um, and yeah, it was just a one of a kind experience. And so I'm looking for other ways to kind of tap into that. And, it's hard not being able to connect with folks right now. I'm like, I love, just hands on, in person time with people. I love cooking for people and sharing. And you can't do that right now. So just rethinking the way that I present those stories, those ideas, and share some of that stuff while it's like happening. Um, and so I'm working on a series called Diary of a Garden Child, which I
Ooh,
can share the work sample with you. But it's an episodic series. It is it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, in gardens with people, some oral history, lots of food, lots of like what's growing, what's fresh, what's local, recipes, kind
wow.
of my outlook on this food, given my travels and my um, just some of my time away. But then, putting those things back into perspective, moving home back into the house that I grew up in, my mom grew up in.
Nice.
Um, so, yeah,
So,
that's probably my main focus.
have you read or heard of The Cooking Gene by Michael Twitty? That's
Yes.
kind of what reminds me of what you're talking about. And I loved, well, the book was dense a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but it was beautiful at the same time because he went through this whole journey of like genetic, exploring his genetic history,
Mm-hmm.
and then his family's history, family stories. He traveled all over the world, or yeah, all over the world and all over the country, visiting these places, learning
Mm-hmm.
the recipes, learning the traditional ways of cooking. And then, wait, so do you remember the story from when he went to Chapel Hill?
No, but
So,
I've heard him live a few times, and I feel like he be coming up with a new story every time. Do share
so
on
he
North
was,
Carolina.
yeah. So, and a lot of his family is from North Carolina. So he
Yeah.
came to Chapel Hill. This was a story in the book. He came to Chapel Hill, and he was at Stagville Plantation, and
Mm-hmm.
he would do
Okay.
these like cooking demonstrations and like literally start cooking early in the morning, just like how the slaves would do, and then go all the way, and do everything right. Um, and so there was somebody there who was like a journalist, I think, with the Daily Tar Heels, who came in and was like interviewing him and asking him questions. And I think they had the same last name. And he was like, we're cousins, right? And that white man felt, it was just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like,
What do I do with this information? Yeah.
right. Like, how could you not think we're cousins? Like, we have the
Right.
same last name. My family's from North Carolina. You owned me. Like,
Also, hey, nice to meet you.
right.
Yeah.
No, but that's beautiful. Just like kind of revisiting and reconnecting to the cooking ways and just,
Yeah.
I just love that. That's awesome.
I mean, I honestly feel like the all the work I've been doing up to this point has brought me to the realization that like we have everything we need. We really have it. And I can't tell you how much just the stories have become tangible, especially in this moment.
Yeah.
Um, and seed keeping and growing and these different ways of being that were the norm then, especially like preserving food, how all of that is be so useful, and especially right now has become even more useful. Forgive me, my phone is dying. I'm gonna try and plug up and
Okay.
still be cute at the same.
I just went to
Why not?
Colombia before the I had the privilege of traveling to Colombia, to Cartagena, and we
Okay.
visited this town. It was called Palenque, but basically it was a Maroon society, and they were just, I mean, they were self-sufficient. They've been self-sufficient since the 1600s, and I think we can definitely learn from. It was just such a inspiration to me on like what we can be and should be doing here, that like that we can be learning from each other, and they were inspired by African Americans in the civil rights movement, and now we're in this place where we can and should be learning from them too. Yeah. So health and wellness, how are you maintaining health and wellness? Mm-hmm.
We plant on about an acre and a half. Are you trying to say something? I said watermelon. Derek wanted to say watermelons. I, I don't know. Um, You're not planting watermelon? No, we're
Slave
planning
food,
to
y'all.
plant.
No.
We're planning to plant this heirloom watermelon called rattlesnake. It's from Georgia, from the 1800s. I'm excited about it. I've been holding on to these seeds for 2 years now, so I'm finally planting them. Um, and so we plan on about an acre and a half, and I have some silver queen corn, some okay, tomatoes, some hibiscus, some hollyhocks, because I'm really focusing right now on kind of like my ritual planting, which is beyond just like sustaining myself. It's like, what are the things that I want to dry and keep on my altar? What are the things I want to see? I want to wake up to, I want to pray around, and what are the things that are going to honor my ancestors directly? And so I've been collecting some seeds for this very moment. And I'm excited about what that garden is going to look like. Anyway,
That's
thank you,
beautiful.
Aftermaker.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you have joined this. I mean, oh, I needed this today. Uh,
Same.
Jenny says,
Same.
have you tasted the heirloom watermelon and does it taste the same or different?
Oh, so this is what I can say. We have a lot of genetically modified things that now don't even have seeds anymore. And I always feel like if I taste stuff that doesn't have seeds, that can't reproduce, it tastes different. And so there's nothing like heirloom land raised crops. Nothing like it. It tastes better. And especially if you grow it yourself, which might be a mind thing,
I
you
mean,
know?
my food is always better than anybody else's food. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So I do taste the difference.
Okay. Anything, do you have time for social media and funny stuff? Anything you see in pop culture?
I'm the worst with that stuff. I'm so late. Derek just put me on to something the other day. I was like, oh, what was it? Um, I don't know. I was late to all the stuff. What was it? Damn Daniel. Oh, damn Daniel. I never saw that, and I be missing
I don't know what that
movement
is either.
apparently. Oh, okay, good. I feel better now. Anyway, um, The memes are definitely keeping me afloat, though. There was like a
Yeah,
definite wave of Tiger, what was it, Tiger King memes
Tiger
that were
King.
hilarious. Yes. But now I'm focusing on my well-being in the garden right now.
Yeah.
A lot of barefoot moments and getting this produce together. And hopefully soon we'll have an add-on. We've been talking about this because we really want to encourage folks to plant, having a specialty add-on with your box to get seedlings and seeds so that you can do your own planting too and access real seeds easily.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to switch over to Gerald now. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.